Welcome to another episode of this podcast. This is a short episode in which I'm going to be talking about hydropower. So, the Northeast India is blessed with many rivers. So, the question is, what is India doing to explore the hydropower potential of this region? So, the central government set up NIPCO,
This
which
is
is headquartered in Meghalaya, and NIPCO has been exploring the hydropower potential in the northeastern region. One of the projects that they put in place is the Kopili hydropower plant. Now, this is set on the Kopili River and its tributary Umrang. Kopili River originates in Meghalaya, which is where I'm standing now, and then it enters Assam before it finally meets the river Brahmaputra. So, the interesting part about the Kopili Power Project is that it's actually situated on the border of Assam and Meghalaya. It's not so much the power plant, but actually it's the Khandong Dam, which is just behind me. This was the first dam that was built, and this is located on the border of Meghalaya and Assam. In fact, to reach this dam, I came through Assam through the autonomous district of Dima Hasao. The power plants are located in Dima Hasao. So there are four power plants. So the Khandong Reservoir feeds water into the Khandong power plant, which generates electricity, and the tailing water then makes its way to the Umrong Reservoir, which then helps in the production of electricity in the Kopili power plants. Now, the interesting part about the Kopili River is, of course, it's being used to generate hydropower and it's also used for irrigation purposes. But the river actually has been contaminated because of many reasons, and the primary reason is the discharge that's come from the open coal mines that have been operational in Meghalaya. They have increased the acidity of the river. And I was actually just speaking to a few locals in Meghalaya, and they said that they actually don't drink the water of this river. They are drinking water from the wells. So they rely on groundwater, and others who are drinking this water, they have to put in a lot of effort to make the water drinkable. That's just one issue, but the contamination of the river has other effects. For instance, corrosion of the dam equipment. The dam itself has other implications, for instance, artificial flooding. Now, that is the pros and cons of having a dam. A dam is built to control flooding during rainfall, but it has also led to artificial flooding. There is also the problem of the Kopili fault line, which has the potential of causing major harm, if massive earthquake were to strike this area. There is also the implications on a downstream population and the downstream catchment area. And there's always a question as to whether that assessment has properly been done. For instance, is the dam affecting the groundwater levels and the groundwater quality? Which is why a lot of emphasis nowadays is being given on developing proper options and evaluating whether a massive plant and a massive dam is in fact necessary. And we are seeing all these issues now play out in the lower Kapili hydroelectric project proposal, which has run into a lot of hindrances because of the lessons that people are learning from the Kopili hydropower project. So that's just about the river, but the area has other problems. For instance, infrastructure. Now, the way from Umrang So to the Kopili Power Project, or this Kandong Dam, the actually was not very comfortable. The roads, they are not the best kept. So that is something that can definitely be developed. Meghalaya has a different story. Meghalayan roads are actually quite well kept, and they are really good, up to the dam at least. So I think there's a difference between Assam and Meghalaya there. Other than that, the other problem I saw along the way was large scale deforestation. And this is not a problem that I have seen. This is a problem that quite a few locals have also told me about. And the question there is that deforestation actually needed? Why is that happening? The trees that are being cut are those that serve a good market price. But the question again is, do they actually need to be cut? Or are there sustainable ways of practicing cutting the trees that people could learn here to make sure that the activities that they are engaging in are not causing harm to them? Other than that, the reservoir as such makes a beautiful site to come and visit. Now, it is also important to note here that whilst we're talking about the power sector, there is a lot of emphasis that is being put on making the Northeast self sufficient in terms of electricity generation. And that's because, despite having a lot of resources at our disposal, Assam at least, enters into power purchase agreements and imports electricity. So there is a gap in demand and supply that has been filled with legal interventions and all these contractual arrangements and negotiations with neighboring states and neighboring countries. That also leads to the problem of
power
load.
cuts.
Experienced a power cut this morning, and usually, while people would say that power cuts are only reserved for occasions when there are storms or when there is a weather turbulence going on, the fact that there are power cuts also indicates that on normal days indicates that there is another problem that needs to be sorted. And many people have also linked the acidity of the river and the power cuts, because the acidic water causes outages and makes it difficult to run the operations properly. So those are the key issues that are being raised by the Kopili hydropower plant. But this is just one of the many plants. But it's a good starting point when we are exploring the hydropower potential of Assam as well as Northeast India. So stay tuned whilst I bring you more updates on this front.